I want to give you 5 strategies for overcoming and dealing with failure, because failure is a part of life. It is part of the narrative of life. I was joking earlier about I almost failed once. The truth is, we stumble from failure to failure on our way to success. The first point that I want to put out there is accept failure when it happens. There is no greater or worse deception than self-deception. You know, there are times when we have worked on something, we have struggled with it, and we refuse to accept that it's not working. And sometimes that refusal to accept failure keeps us from being able to step back and find solutions that could get us to where we want to be. I was talking to somebody just yesterday about what's going on in the country in regards to corruption. As we watched yet another chairman of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission being bundled out of office. And I said, have we not failed in this area in dealing with this? Is there not a different way to deal with this issue? The truth is, we must accept when we have failed and find a new path. Number 2, this is the second principle. Do not personalize failure. I have a good friend, an entrepreneur, who poured her heart into her business. She started from scratch, put money, effort, quit her job, went through so much effort to build this business. And then it crashed. It didn't work. And I remember as we sat there on that bench talking, I looked at her feeling like she had failed. She herself, not the business. And sometimes when we blur the lines and the boundaries between what we are doing and who we are, we set ourselves up for permanent failure or permanent situations in life that are unnecessary. Separate yourself. Whether it's a business, whether it's a project, things will fail. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's the circumstances, sometimes it's a sabotage from somewhere else. Failures come, failures go. You were made to succeed. Number 3, take stock, learn, and adapt. I wish we had time to really unpackage this one, because overcoming failure is really about looking back through the rearview mirror, looking back at what I did, looking at what I did not do, looking at what happened and what I can do differently. There's an article I read not long ago called The Power of Reflective Living. When is the last time you just stopped and looked back? Look back at your journey, adjusted your compass, and decided that what you learned from behind will help you in your journey forward. Do you know somebody who's just stumbling on from one thing to another, struggling and digging and fighting, never stopping to look back and reflect? That kind of person tends to push themselves into places where they're less than their potential, because they don't reflect, they don't learn, and they don't adapt to the realities. Failure is part of life, but we must learn from it. Number 4, don't dwell on it. And this one is obvious. You know and I know that your thoughts define who you are. The scripture says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he, or a woman. As you continue to think, so you remain. So don't dwell on the failure. Dwell on the things that you want to do. Dwell on the good things. Look at the positive. Dwelling on the failure has a way of bringing you down and draining you with regrets and things that actually are not going to help you. You cannot change what has already happened. If it has happened, reflect, learn, adapt, but don't spend your time on it. And number 5, know what it is that you want. Know what you want. A big part of the failures we see is that people are living lives, people are struggling, and yet do not really have a clear picture of what it is that they define as success. What do you want? Somebody asked me this question not long ago. What do you want? Define what you want, understand it, and put all your energies and efforts towards it. You may fail at doing that, but you're never a failure if you keep going. Thank you.